Hey, what's going on, Miss Perez class? Today we're bringing you guys a video on what effects World War II had on concentration camps. Now, before we even start on our presentation, we are going to be documenting what is a concentration camp and pretty much all the effects World War II had on it. Enrique, take it away.
A concentration camp is a place where large numbers of people, especially political prisoners or members of persecuted minorities, are deliberately imprisoned in a relatively small area with inadequate facilities, sometimes to provide forced labor or to await mass execution.
The Holocaust has no specific date where it was started, but it was known to start in 1941 and it ended May 8, 1945. The major groups involved during the liberation of concentration camps were the English, the French, the United States, Canada, and Russia.
Early camps, usually without proper infrastructure, sprang up everywhere in Germany when the Nazi reached power in 1933. Some of these camps included state camps, hostage camps, labor camps, POW camps, aka main camps for enlisted prisoners of war, camps for the so-called rehabilitation and re-education of Poles, collection and transit camps, and extermination camps. The most common camps were hostage camps and extermination camps. Hostage camps, known also as prison police camps, where hostages were held and later killed in reprisal actions. An example of a hostage camp would be extermination camps, where camps differed from the rest, since not all of them were also concentration camps. Although none of the categories are independent, many camps could be classified as a mixture of several of the above. These were extermination camps, where all new arrivals were simply killed. Two examples of concentration camps were Auschwitz
and Majdanek. Alright guys, so we managed to get our hands on some really rare footage of someone actually going to the concentration camps and making their way through. Enjoy!
Hola, me llamo Juan.
The first prison or concentration camp established was the Buchenwald concentration camp. It was established on July 16, 1937 by the Nazis. This is where the first group of prisoners, 300 literate, educated Jews, helped build the entrance gate. As World War II started and progressed, the numbers of Jews shipped to Buchenwald increased. In fact, by March 1945, the population at the camps reached an all-time high with 80,436 prisoners in the premises. Buchenwald concentration camp was just a killing of Jews camp. The camp did have multiple cremation stations, but for the most part, they put the prisoners to work. It is known to be a slave labor camp. The first commander of Buchenwald was SSS officer Karl Otto Koch. Koch was imprisoned and killed by Nazis soon after because he took bribes from Jews. Jews were treated as if they weren't even human. Some Jews were even skinned. The grossest part about that is that skin was given to the guards and visitors for book covers. In all, 56,545 lives were taken away in the concentration camp. On April 11, 1945, the U.S. Third Army, 6th Division liberated the camp. Tens of thousands of prisoners were free at last from the hate brought out by the Nazi. In the Buchenwald concentration camp, Jews were not only skinned and cremated, they were also gassed just like in many other concentration camps in Germany at the time of World War II.
A normal day for a Jew in a concentration camp would consist of, at 4 a.m., they'd have to be awake. You'll be awakened by the capo barking at you. He'll say, "Hurry up. You must raise, find your shoes, and start as soon as possible." From the shapeless straw mattress, you'll have to make a perfect bed in a military manner, with blankets made up exactly over the straw mattress.
Oh, if you don't have your shoes, buddy, that's verlied. That means... No, I actually fucking... No, that means a bad word. No. If you're lucky to have passed the morning routine without getting killed, you must have your mess tin in hand. No mess tin, no food. A capo gives you approximately 10 ounces of bread and some coffee. Sometimes if you're lucky, you'll receive some margarine or a thin slice of sausages with your bread. The coffee is tasteless and no sugar and no milk.
Morning roll call. All the prisoners are lined up in rows of 10. All the prisoners must be at the roll call, including the ones who died during the night. Their poor bodies are lined in front of you or in front of your barack. Under control of the SS guards and officers, the capos are counting the thousands of prisoners. A mistake during the counting and everything must start again. making the capos nervous and dangerous.
Move off of the commandos. You run to join your work team. You'll leave the camp under the heavy guard of SS and capos, always barking at you. You'll reach the yard by walk, of course. Maybe you'll have to march off to the beat of the music played by the camp orchestra. Or maybe the SS will order to your work team to sing during the march. Just at the gate of the camp, there is a row of SS waiting for your work team. Beatings, insults, barking again and again.
The work. If you're lucky, you have received a good tool, a shovel or a pickaxe. Otherwise, you'll have to work with your hands. And this may mean death because you'll not be able to work as fast as the guards request. The day will be long, 12 to 14 hours of work. The work is very hard and often useless. To move heavy sandbags from one point to another, to extract and carry heavy stones, to dig trenches, or to bore a tunnel.
The lunch break. You often had a 15-minute break where they served you some type of soup that you did not know what it was or how good it was to eat. Also, if you were lucky to get a piece of bread, pretty much. The afternoon. A signaling whistle again. The lunch break is now over. The work starts again. Always at Inferno. The afternoon seems harder because you are hungry and you feel you are losing strength.
Return to the camp. A last signaling whistle, your work team walks back to the camp, and the survivors are carrying bodies of the prisoners who died today. Maybe the guards will order them to sing. Once arrived in the camp, the SS are controlling your team. It's a new opportunity for them to beat, to kill.
Evening roll call. All the prisoners are lined up by rows of 10. The capos are counting the prisoners and the dead. If a prisoner tries to escape, all the prisoners will stand at attention at their roll call place until he is retrieved. The evening roll call takes hours, sometimes even 10 hours before it's over. The evening roll call is also the moment chosen by the SS for the punishments and the hangings. Sometimes after hanging, all the prisoners have to march in front of the gallows to look at the hanged prisoners as a warning. The dinner. The evening roll call is over. You run in order to receive your dinner, a kind of soup just like the one you received at noon. If you were spared some bread, you may eat it now with the soup. Once again, the distribution of food is an opportunity for the capos to beat the prisoners.
The evening. You return to your barrack. In no way you are allowed to leave the barrack during the night. The block Führer is waiting for you and your comrades. The block Führers wear green triangles, which means real criminals. They have the right to decide who will live and who will die. Maybe he will let you rest until tomorrow morning, but maybe he'll decide to have some fun, to order exercises like crawling, jumping, running until you faint. Eventually, you're allowed to lie down on your straw mattresses. You are 5 in just one bunk bed, with just one blanket. The barrack is not heated. If a prisoner wants to turn over in the bed, all the others have to follow. You are exhausted. Today you managed to survive.
Canada and the significance of liberating concentration camps. The 2nd Canadian Division first battled the Germans during the abortive landings in August 1942 on the coast of France at Dieppe. The 2nd Canadian Division landed in France, fought to liberate Caen, and participated in the encirclement of the remnants of the German army in Normandy at the Falaise Gap. During the pursuit of the defeated enemy towards the Riche, the Canadians liberated Dieppe, then helped clear the Scheldt River estuary to open the port of Antwerp for the Allies.
With some of the funding originating from Jewish sources, the Dutch government had established a camp at Westerbroek in October 1939 to house refugees, most of whom were Jewish, who looked for refuge in the Netherlands. The Westerbroek camp, which at this time had approximately 1,500 prisoners, after July 15, 1942, Westerbroek served as a transit camp for Dutch Jews before their deportation to the killing centers in Auschwitz and Sobibor and to several concentration camps. 98 trains transported approximately 100,131 Dutch Jews to Auschwitz, Sobibor, Mauthausen, Bergen-Belsen, and Theresienstadt between July 1942 and September 1944.
Following the liberation of Westerbroek, the Canadian 2nd Division continued its advance into northern Germany. It captured the German city of Oldenburg on May 3rd and was stationed there when the Germans surrendered on May 1945. During the war effort of Canada, thousands of jobs appeared due to the needing of ammunition, food, and lots of supplies to be sent to the Canadian soldiers and the Allies. Like World War I, this war effort wasn't as needed because many of the other countries were the ones fighting it. Canada wasn't one of the main countries. We just kind of helped Britain and the Allies basically fight our way to German all the way to Berlin. The way Canada contributed to the war or the liberation of concentration camps was by offering a bunch of troops, supplies, ammunitions. Like World War I before, the supplies were very shoddy, but these supplies were actually made with quality and care so that a gun wouldn't, fail during a war or a battle between two soldiers. This brings us to the conclusion of concentration camps and how Canada contributed in it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, give us a handshake or something like that. Yeah. This is so. How was the video making, Enrique?
It was
Tiring process.
yeah, really
It was
tiring.
tiring, man. I know. Well, Miss Perez class, you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'm never gonna do this again.